Kardashian and Blac Chyna made their announcement. The Jumanji app launch marked Kardashian and Blac Chyna's first appearance together since the pregnancy news. The reality star gave his bride-to-be 28 bouquets for her birthday Wednesday before the pair jetted off to celebrate in Miami, Florida. Gina Rodriguez flaunted her talent for mimicry on Spike TV's Lip Sync Battle when she appeared on stage as rapper Lil Wayne. The Jane the Virgin actress donned long dreads, a white tank, and metallic grills as she faced off against That 70s Show's actor Wilder Valderrama in a sneak peek released Wednesday. Rapping along to Wayne's "A Millie," Rodriguez danced across the stage without missing a beat, prompting co-host Christy Teigen to exclaim, "Oh my God," in the clip, which includes some explicit language. The full lip sync episode aired Thursday. On Instagram this week, Rodriguez also called out her lip sync battle opponent Valderrama, who she referred to as "my brother from another." She wrote, "I promise you won't be disappointed." Robot Chicken, the Walking Dead special, is in development and will air as part of Turner's Adult Swim programming block on Cartoon Network. It was announced Thursday. The Emmy-winning team behind the stop-motion animated comedy series Robot Chicken is working with the creators of the live-action drama The Walking Dead to, quote, bring fans an all-new and extra bloody half-hour special, press release says. Robot Chicken creators Seth Green and Matthew Senwright and their Stupid Buddy studio partners John Harvatine IV and Eric Towner will bring an animated zombie apocalypse to Adult Swim, with The Walking Dead's creator, executive producer Robert Kirkman, and showrunner, executive producer, writer Scott M. Gimple. The network did not say if any Walking Dead cast members would lend their voices to the animated characters in the program or when the special might premiere. Original Misfits bandmate singer Glenn Danzig, bassist Jerry Onley, and guitarist Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein are set to reunite for the first time in 33 years. According to Billboard, the horror punk rockers will take the stage once again to headline the upcoming concert series Riot Festival and Rodeo in Denver from September 2nd to the 4th, and the Riot Fest and Carnival in Chicago from September 16th to the 18th. Tickets are on sale now. The band, considered pioneers of the hardcore punk genre and labeled as inspirations by Metallica and Guns N' Roses, last performed together in 1983. Afterwards, Only and his brother Doyle secured the rights to the Misfits names in 1995 and continued to tour and release new albums. Known for their donning skull-face makeup, signature devil locks hairstyle, and dark attire, the original Misfits, formed in 1977, made a name for themselves with singles such as Bullet, Horror Business, Night of the Living Dead, and Skulls. In 2011, Only mentioned to Rolling Stone magazine how he was open to a reunion, saying doing it with Glenn may work on a short-term basis. I could see us getting together and lining up a bunch of big festivals and a bunch of big shows. Madonna is set to pay homage to legendary musician Prince at the 2016 Billboard Music Awards 1 month after his death. The music brand announced Wednesday Madonna will pay tribute to her friend and fellow artist Prince at the 2016 Billboard Music Awards. The two music icons collaborated on a song together previously titled Love Song from Madonna's fourth studio album Like a Prayer. Prince died in his Minneapolis, Minnesota estate on April 21st. An autopsy concluded that there was no obvious signs of foul play or suicide. A toxicology reports have yet to be released, and the DEA was announced as joining the investigation recent amid reports that the Purple Rain singer's death was possible drug-related. Following Prince's death, Madonna had continued to pay tribute to the Purple One on Instagram. She wrote a caption, "It's been 7 hours and 13 days since you took your love away. All the flowers you planted died when you went away. Nothing compares to you." The Billboard Music Awards, which will air live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas on May 22nd at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ABC, will also feature performances from Demi Lovato, Nick Jonas, Justin Bieber, The Go-Go's, Shawn Mendes, Pink, DNCE, Celine Dion, and Britney Spears. Taylor Swift appears in the third Apple Music ad that features the pop star rocking out to I Believe in a Thing Called Love by The Darkness. The spot released Thursday on Twitter entitled Dance Like No One's Watching. She begins with Swift declaring, "I love a quiet night at home," as she selects her Friday Night Rocks playlist from the music streaming service. Swift is then seen excitedly dancing around her home, jumping onto tables and furniture and kicking her legs up in the air as she lip-syncs the lyrics to the hit song from 2003. The video comes after Swift's previous pairs of of Apple Music ads, which features the Shake It Off singer rapping along to Drake and Future's hip-hop hit Jumpman before crashing on a treadmill, and one in which she sings into her lipstick to Jimmy Eat World's The Middle as she prepares for a night out. On Tuesday, however, an intruder was detained outside Swift's home in New York City after he was seen roaming around her residence with a duffel bag. That same day, she attended the 64th annual BMA Pop Awards in Beverly Hills, California, where she took home the first ever Taylor Swift Award intact in her name in recognition of her artistic talent and influence. And now let's take a look at what happened on this date in entertainment history. On this date in 1971, Stevie Wonder comes of age. In 1961, Berry Gordy signed 11-year-old Steve Len Hardaway Morris to a contract with Tamla Records. The artist later known as Stevie Wonder and the label later known as Motown would grow up side by side over the course of the 60s, with the Motown coming to define the sound of young America, and Wonder helping lead the way with hits like Fingertips Part 2, 1963, Uptight, Everything's Alright, 1965, I Was Made to Love Her, 1967, My Cherry and More, 1969, and Sign, Seal, Deliver, I'm Yours in 1970. But while he was busy turning out hits for Hitsville, Stevie Wonder was also developing from a young pop phenomenon into a mature musician with serious creative ambitions. Faced with the rigid creative system at Motown and resistance from Berry Gordy to loosening it, Stevie Wonder asserted control over his artistic future by exercising his right to leave Motown Records on his 21st birthday on this date in 1971. The frustration for Stevie Wonder stemmed from the highly compartmentalized nature of the Motown production process. Motown in the 60s was a hit factory, and in that factory the workers, songwriters, producers, instrumentalists, and singers all knew their respective roles. It was one of the most creatively successful examples in history of the mass production of cultural products. But by 1971, Wonder knew that he wanted to be an artist rather than an assembly line worker. Marvin Gaye had been the first Motown artist to test Berry Gordy's tolerance for dissent when he fought for and won total creative control over what is widely regarded as his masterpiece, the album What's Going On. When Gordy balked at allowing Wonder a similar level of artistic freedom, Stevie called his bluff by opting out of his contract and began production on his new album independently. Eventually, Gordy relented, agreeing to a new contract that granted Stevie Wonder total creative control over his music and the rights to own his master recordings. As it did for Marvin Gaye, this arrangement led to the period of Stevie Wonder's greatest critical and popular success. During the first 5 years of his new Motown contract, Wonder released 5 full-length albums: Music of My Mind in 1972, Talking Book in 1972, Inner Visions 1973, Fulfilled His First Finale in 1974, and Songs in the Key of Life in 1976, from which comes the vast majority of what most would consider to be his greatest hits, including Superstition, 1971, You Are the Sunshine of My Life, 1973, Higher Ground, 1973, Living for the City, 1973, You Haven't Done Nothing, 1974, I Wish, 1977, and Sir Duke, 1977. This period of incredible productivity and creative success began on this date in 1971 when Stevie Wonder came of age both legally and artistically. Also on this date in 1975, the inventor of Western swing dies. Bob Wills, one of the most influential musicians in the history of country music, is born on a small farm near Cozy, Texas. Born James Robert Wills in 1905, he was trained to be a musician from an early age. His father was a champion fiddle player, and he began giving Wills lessons as soon as the boy could hold the instrument. By the time he was 10, Wills was a skilled fiddler and a competent guitar and mandolin player. Wills left home at 16 and worked various jobs like picking cotton and preaching. He eventually joined a traveling medicine show where he played fiddle and met Herman Asperger, a Texas farm boy who had learned to play guitar from a Sears catalog guitar book. The pair began playing at dance and parties around Fort Worth, and after adding a singer, won a regular radio gig performing as the Light Crust Doughboys. In 1933, the group separated and Wills formed the band that would make him famous, Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys. With the Playboys, Wills perfected his hard-driven country western sound, which drew heavily on the rhythms of the popular jazz swing bands of the era. Wills' fiddle playing sounded nothing like the traditional folk music he had heard as a child. By using strong beats and syncopation, he produced a sound that seemed to cry out for dancing. Wills eventually added drums, brass, and woodwinds for the Texas Playboys, making himself into a country western bandleader in the style of Benny Goodman or Artie Shaw. Several of his bands were as large as 22 pieces, and Wills worked with more than 600 musicians in his long career. In 1940, Wills took some of the Playboys to Hollywood, where the band appeared in a number of Western movies that won them nationwide attention. Among their many hits were the highly danceable tunes like Take Me Back to Tulsa, Bubbles in My Beer, and the ever-popular San Antonio Rose. All in all, Wills sold more than 20 million records to date. Many critics have argued Wills and the Texas Playboys had a greater influence on the sounds of country western music than any other performer or group. In recognition of his achievements, Wills was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 1968. He believed his chances of winning were so slim he was backstage chatting with friends when the award was announced. When he was finally tracked down and brought on stage, he says, "I don't usually take my hat off to nobody, but I sure do to you folks." Stricken by a series of severe strokes, he died 7 years later on this day in 1975 at the age of 70. And that is your entertainment report for Friday, May 13th, 2016. I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo. I'll be back on Monday to deliver some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo. That's RYMELO. On Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to this episode or any previous episodes of The Entertainment Report anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Everyone have a great weekend, good night, and God bless you all.